So let's do German turn 1. I'm going to pull the German hand up here. Okay, so again, the Germans have two groups. Right now, you can see I have no movement cards here, right? And so I can't move, which is what I would want to do. I'd want to move my people up to get them a little closer, because at this range, there's not a lot of effective fire going on. And let me show you kind of what that means. I'm going to hide the German hand here, and the American hand actually. So again, the way that this works for firing, I say it's not effective. The way that you determine the fire power, each group has you sum the firepower for each card in a personality card to get a total firepower. Then you basically use that firepower to buy the fire cards. So for example, let's say I wanted to check the feasibility of shooting my group B here at the American group B. All right, we are at relative range 1. What relative range means, it's the sum of the two range numbers. So I'm at range 0, they're at range 1. Add those together, you get relative range 1. That is what you look at when you look at your fire card. So at relative range 1, I have 5 firepower from him. You look at the 1, scroll over, he's 5 because he's a crude weapon. Let's see what else we got. We skipped the crude guy because he's helping the machine gunner. And at 1, we got another one, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9. And you might have remembered that the goal for our fire group, our fire base, was to have 9. So yeah, we have 9 at relative range 1. Okay, so let's see. We have 2 fire cards in our hand. We have one that says fire 2 and one that says fire 7. In addition to those numbers, you can see this number in a circle here. That is basically the cost in firepower points to play the card. We have 9. This one takes 8, so we could play this card. This one takes 17. We could not play this card. So once we're gonna take a shot, okay, just so you can see what it's like in action. So I would drag this and say down and say, okay, German Group B shooting at US Group B with a fire strength of 2, and that's the fire strength. Let me move this out of the way. The fire strength is 2. The fire power has to do with the personality cards and the cost to basically buy the card. Once you play the card, you add enough to buy it, then we talk about fire strength. So this is a fire strength 2 card. Okay? So we would look to see if there's anything that modifies that fire strength. The things that modify that would be movement cards, terrain, and concealed cards. So right now, we know German fire strength 2, movement card makes you more vulnerable to fire, right? You're moving. So the fire strength now would be 3. Okay, we have the 2 here, plus the 1 for movement. So fire strength 3. You can, in Vassal, communicate this by using some cool, notation here. So it's great to play Skype too with Vassal. Makes it communication a lot easier. But just know that the Vassal module has a lot of great stuff that makes it really feasible to play without speaking at all, without voice. So we're at fire strength 3. The Americans now have the opportunity to play a concealed card. A concealed card basically says that these guys have found some cover as they're moving. So now we're going to look to see if they, even have a concealed card. They don't. You don't have to tell the other player if you don't have a concealed card. You would just say, no concealment. I'm not going to play a concealment. So, and that could be because you want to save it for later. It could be because you don't have it, obviously, like I don't have it here. So the final fire strength is 3. Right? 1, 2, 3. All right. So these guys are getting shot at right now by the fire base group over there. So what we do to resolve this is draw 1 card and put it into the RNC or random number check draw space up here, okay, for each of the cards, and we'll compare the modified fire strength starting at 3. We'll modify it by the random number, negative or positive, remember reds are negative, for each one of the guys here. So we're going to draw 8 cards here, so you can see how you can go through the deck. And we're going to compare our result to the morale and maybe the KIA. So with a fire strength 3, the highest or lowest random number you can get is a 6, a +6 or -6. So starting with the 3, we can hit the KIAs, which start at 8, I believe, for everybody. So that's something that can be helpful to think about. What can I even kill a guy with this shot, or can I maybe just pin him? And believe me, it's definitely okay and useful to take low strength fire shots sometimes. But this one, actually, if we draw a +6, a black 6 could kill somebody. So let's see what happens. All right, we're starting with 3. I'm going to draw this out and flip it. So you can see that it is +3, it looks like. It's funny because this says -2 up here. I'm not sure why, because I'm seeing a 3 there, a black 3. So we would add that 3 to the 3 that we had, right? So that gives us a 6. Let's look at this guy. Smith has a morale of 1, a KIA of 8. So it's greater than his morale, less than his KIA. What that means is he's pinned. He's dropping to the dirt because people are shooting at him. So to indicate that, and Vassal, or in the original game, you flip this card. So Control F. That's what he looks like. Now he is pinned. All right, let's finish off the rest of the group here. It's -2, so that's going to put us at a 1. So when it's equal to or less than morale, or equal to or greater than morale, pins him. So even with a 1 here, he's going to flip. -4, that's going to be a -1. This guy is a 3, not going to flip. +4, wow, so that's going to put it at a 7 for this one. So it's still just greater than his morale, less than his KIA, so he's just going to flip. Next, 0, so 3, still good enough. -1 is a 2. 2. And he's a 3. Oh, it's a +2 though, so it's 5, so he's going to flip. You'll notice on this card, it says breeze. If there was any smoke on the battlefield on anybody, this card being drawn as a random number check would cause the smoke to clear. So it kind of randomly happens. And then last guy, 3 + 3 is 6. All right. So that's it. The fire attack is resolved. These guys are all pinned. They're not dead, they're just pinned. And we're going to discard all the cards we used to figure that out. Let's go to the discard pile, Control R and Vassal if you want to use that. You can see him filling up the discard pile here. I personally like to leave the action on the group until all my groups have acted. This can be especially helpful if you have more than 2 groups, or just to keep track as you're going. Just to remember, things you can get down into detail with some things, the fire attacks and other stuff. So, but this is easily, I can see, okay, my group A hasn't acted yet. So let's see if they want to do anything. Nope, they don't want to do anything. So remember, the Germans have the ability to discard. So we're going to end this particular segment, and then I'm going to talk about discarding terrain on your opponent.